excuse me, let's talk about supplies. You're going to need some fabric, 100% cotton fabric. I cut 4 pieces of my front fabric, 7 inches by 7 inches, and 2 pieces of my back. So this is the front. It has a layer on the front, a layer on the inside. Those I cut from 4 pieces of 7 by 7. I cut 2 pieces of the pocket fabric, 7 by 7, 6 by 7, somewhere in there. The straps are 2 inches wide by width of fabric, so that means 2 inches by roughly 42 inches. I need 2 of those. So that's on the fabric. Here's my strips. Then you need the same amount of non-woven interfacing. So that would be 4 pieces, 7 by 7, 2 pieces, 6 by 7, or you could go 7 by 7. Okay, they're going to go on to the back of all of your fabric squares before you cut out your mask. The other thing that I used was, this was an aluminum baking pan. Oh, sorry. I used this as my, let me see if I got one here. I use this to make my nose piece so that it can be pinched around the nose. These are the, the aluminum pans like you cook in, and then you either take it with you to someone's house and you don't have to worry about it, or you're cooking something and you just want to throw the pan away when you're done. So it's like a thicker aluminum foil. And this was a pan about this size, which is about 6 by 10, 6 by 11, or something like that. And, oh, sorry. And you can get quite a few metal pieces out of it. If you have something else to use for your metal, that's up to you. Some people use pipe cleaners, some people use twisty ties, not the kind on your bread, but the thicker ones, because you want something that's going to hold up. So there are different ways to do that. The other thing I got is a filter, and I've heard recommended. I have no recommendations. I have no qualifications to tell you what one to get. I've read where people are using HEPA filters or HEPA vacuum cleaner bags and cutting them up. I used a, it's either an air conditioner or a furnace filter that has, it says right on it that it kills viruses. You may not want to have any. If you don't know what's in this, you may not want to have it close to your face. So if you can check on the internet, check with different places or hospitals what they might be using in place of. It's entirely up to you how you do this. I needed, I used my little roller to roll flat the metal or the aluminum. If you don't have that, soup can will be fine. I had my junk scissors out to cut the aluminum because I wasn't going to use my good scissors. You need to have some clips because you don't want to keep pinning the fabric and poking holes in it. Because maybe the bacteria and virus is so minute it could get through. The reason I use the non-woven interfacing is because 100% cotton is the way to go, but it's woven, so there are fine little holes there, and the non-woven interfacing, it's fairly thin, and I used a fusible one. You can get either one, but this is non-woven, so that means that it doesn't have the little cross warp and weft, so that helps protect you even more. Having 2 layers on the front with a layer on each of this, and then your pocket, which also has a layer of this, is a lot of protection to start with, and there's nothing that's going to protect you like a regular N95 mask. So stay tuned for how I drew the pattern and then how I sewed it together. Thank you. The first thing we have to do is draw a pattern for our mask. So I have a regular piece of paper, 8.5 by 11, pencil. I have some colored markers so you can see the difference between the line, the rectangle, and the other lines that connect. I have a straight edge ruler, any kind will do. Excuse me. If you have a curved ruler, dressmaker ruler, that's good. If you don't, you could probably use the edge of a dinner plate or something maybe that's oval to connect the dots, and you'll see as we go how that would work. So the first thing we have to do is draw the basic pattern. And I'm going to stay a little more to this side of the paper because I'm going to extend out this way. So the first thing I need to do is have 5 inches across the top. Okay, 5 inches. Then I got to come down 6 inches, and I'm going to use my ruler right along this line so I know my ruler's straight when I come down the side. And I'm coming down 6 inches. And I'm just going to turn my paper, and I'm going to do, again, I'm going to align my ruler across the line I just drew, and I'm going to do that 5 inches again. And then I'm going to come up the side. I'm going to twirl it all the way around because it's easier. And I can line my top up. If you have a wide ruler, I can make sure that my line coming down and across are all lined up and connect them all. But I want to be sure that I turn it back around and this is my top. Now the next thing I want to do is I'm going to make some excuse me, some marks they're going to be connecting together. So the first thing I want to do is on the left side, top left corner, I want to come across and make a mark at 3/4 of an inch. And then I'm going to come down the side from the left corner down. I'm going to come down 1.5 inches. At the bottom, I'm going to come up from the bottom left corner, up 3 inches. And again, make a mark. Along the bottom, I'm going to go from the bottom left corner across 1.25. And if you notice, I'm making my lines outside of the box. I'm going to go to the bottom right corner and I'm going to come up 1 inch. I'm going to go to the top right corner and come down 1.25. Okay, so we have top left corner, 3/4 of an inch to the right, top left corner, 1.5 inches down, bottom left corner, 3 inches up, and then 1.25 to the right. The right corner, I'm going up 1 inch, and the top right corner, I'm coming down 1.25 inches. Once you have that done, I'm going to pick a different color here so you can see. I need to connect my dots, so to speak. So I'm going to take the ruler, and I just need a bit of a curve. So I'm going to turn this because otherwise I hit my light. And I just want a little curve. So see how I've got a little curve, and I'm just going to go like that and have that little curve. I think I'll come up here. Maybe I can get a little more curve out of that. And then I'm going to come to this side. And again, I'm going to connect these 2 marks. And I'm connecting them right where the lines meet, the original lines. Okay, so you can see, excuse me, so I've connected these 2, and I'm connecting these two. Now I need to connect the ones on the other side, except this time I'm going to curve in where these I curved out. Let me see if I can make that a little more curvy so you can see the curve better. So they're curving out a little bit. Now I need to curve in. So I'm going to let me see, I have to do it this way. So I got to curve in, so I'm going to come in with my curve, and you can probably see it better here. Can you see how this curve, here's my straight line and here's my curve. Oh, I'm sorry, I did it in the wrong place. Good. I turned my paper too many times. I'm going from the bottom, which this will be the bottom of the mask, and I'm going to curve in. You see how I've curved in? Now I'm going to go to the top. So let's see if I can do the easiest way for you to see this. And I'm connecting from, this was the top right corner, this is the left corner. I'm curving in. Let me see if I can make it a little more curvy so you can see it. Here we go. So, let me erase this one. So can you see how this, I'll do it with the dark. Do you see how that curved in? So these are curving out, these are curving in. You see if I can do that one more time so you can see it better? So you see these are curving out, these are curving in. Here's the top. So you can see this is the center of the mask about where your nose is. So this would be where the bridge of your nose would be. So this is under your eyes, and this would be under your chin. So you got to get that done first. And then what I did is I wanted to extend my mask out a little more to go closer to my ears. So this part is entirely up to you. If you want to end here, which would, in some cases, some people want to put the elastic, you could end here, or I'm going to come out. So I'm just going to come out an inch, because I can always take some off. So I just measured an inch from where I originally stopped with this box, and I'm just going to connect these two. Now, for my inside of my mask, I'm going to have the lining of the inside is going to be a pocket, so I want it to be shorter. So I'm going to come in from that line, and I'm just going to draw some little dash lines. Okay? So I went out an inch, and then I came in 1/2 inch. And I drew little dotted lines, because I'm going to retrace my mask, my actual template for my mask from this. Okay, now I'm going to trace my mask pieces, and I brought my light box out so that you could see the tracing through. You don't have to have a light box. You can put it up against your window and trace it. You may even be able to see it okay. But I wanted to use the light box so that you would be able to see it. And I'm simply going to come right around here and trace. I'm going to have some lead here. Following my lines. And remember, I came out that extra inch. Okay, so you can see my piece, and I'm going to mark this front, cut 4. Okay? Now I'm going to take my other piece of paper to make my back. And you remember on my back, I'm going to end here because I'm making a pocket in the back. So again, I'm going to trace it. And where the dotted lines are is where I'm going to come up. Okay? And I'm going to mark this one, back, cut 2. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and cut my templates out and then show you how to put them onto your fabric. Okay, so I've cut out my 2 pieces. My back, I put back, cut 2, front, cut 4. Now I'm going to, on this, over here on this side, I'm going to write no seam allowance. And along here I'm going to put 1/4 inch seam, 1/4 inch seam, and 1/4 inch seam. I'm going to do the same thing on this one, and it's just a reminder, and you'll see when I set them on the fabric. And this one I'm going to go all the way around and put that. You might as well write everything you need to remember right on your template. Okay, so when I set these on the fabric, and in part 2 of the video I'll go into it more, but just so you get an understanding, when I set this on the fabric, and it'll be ironed, and when it says 1/4 inch seam allowance, I'm going to cut out here. I'm not going to cut along this edge. I'm going to come out 1/4 inch. Doesn't have to be exact 1/4 inch, kind of an eyeball 1/4 inch, and I'm going to cut out around the pieces. So if you'll stay tuned for part 2, where we get the fabric ready and our supplies ready and do our cutting before we're ready to sew.